Cochlear Implants, Multimodal Project by Molly von Dorsten. For my research topic, I chose to research cochlear implants. I'm working on the topic of cochlear implants because I want to learn what moral issues they infringe upon in order to help my reader understand if these issues should influence a person's decision to receive cochlear implants. The academic discussions that are going on with the moral issues associated with cochlear implants are: children who receive cochlear implants did not get to make the decision of cochlear implants or becoming a member of the deaf community for themselves. This is debated because a person should have the right to make their own informed decision about how they want to live their life. Cochlear implants are generally only beneficial as long as the child is young enough to receive their benefits. The younger the child is that receives the implants, the more likely they will be able to adapt to the hearing world. Once a child reaches elementary school, it is much more difficult for them to adapt and learn to speak. This can also force the child to feel like an outcast in the hearing world. The deaf community is drastically decreasing in size and losing all of its heritage because specialists tell patients that cochlear implants are the only option to being deaf. This is an issue because the deaf community is a culture. They share a language, history, and traditions with each other. Many doctors are not informing their potential clients that joining the deaf community could be an alternative to cochlear implants. In order to help develop an answer to my research question, I will interview my professors at the University of Mississippi. I will interview the audiologists. They are the ones responsible for hearing screenings and fitting clients for hearing aids. This interview will help me because they have first-hand experience when dealing with parents making the decision of cochlear implants for their child. They can also tell me how effective implants are depending on their client's age. The sign language professors can help answer my questions on the deaf community. While they are not deaf themselves, they will have first-hand knowledge and insight into the deaf community and their culture. I will ask them questions about their own experiences and their own personal professional opinions. I will ask them questions such as, do you ever tell parents that cochlear implants are not the only option for their child, and explain the deaf community? Do you feel that the deaf community is an equal alternative to cochlear implants? Do you feel that ASL is an appropriate alternative to spoken language? Do you think that the child whose parents choose for them to receive implants would have wanted them? How much harder is it for someone to learn to speak with cochlear implants once they have reached the age of 6? When a child receives cochlear implants, they are not mature enough to make the decision for themselves, so the decision is left up to their parents. This brings up the issue of whether the child would have wanted to be deaf and become a member of the deaf community, or receive implants and attempt to become a member of the hearing world. This brings up my argument of, since early implantation is forcing the deaf community to dwindle and their culture to become irrelevant in today's society, should parents be allowed to make the life-altering decisions for their child? I believe that cochlear implants are moral as long as the recipient receives them as a child. The older the client is, the harder it is to learn to speak with implants, and the less likely the implants will allow the client to hear much of anything. Not only hear, but it will be extremely difficult for a person who received cochlear implants after childhood to learn to speak. However, if a child is implanted at a young age, studies have shown that they will most likely be able to adapt to the hearing world and have good self-esteem. Based on the research that I have gathered from articles found on the library's database and books about cochlear implants, most specialists in the field of audiology agree that the benefits of cochlear implants are much more likely to occur in a child than an adult. With laws requiring newborn hearing screenings to be performed before the age of 1 month, it is beneficial to the child to receive them. This is because doctors can implant on a child once they are 12 months old, and the child will not have missed many important language milestones because of the early implantation. The studies that have been conducted in the articles I have read also agree with early implantation. It has been proven that the earlier the child is implanted, the better their word identification scores will be. This leads to emotional benefits for the child. The better the child is able to speak and hear, the better their peers will accept them as a member of the hearing world. Cochlear implants are a moral issue. Cochlear implants are a life-changing decision that should never be taken lightly. It is important for the possible recipient to understand all of their options in order to make an informed decision that is conducive to their lifestyle. The question of the morality of cochlear implants is important to scholars in my field because it will aid in the understanding of the deaf community. It will also give specialists the information to help future parents and recipients of cochlear implants make the right decision of whether to receive implants or not. I will not only expand my knowledge of cochlear implants in the deaf community, but help parents, students, and specialists with their understanding as well. The work that remains is more research. I need to learn to understand more about the deaf culture and how they function. By gaining more knowledge, I will be able to help explain why the deaf community opposes cochlear implants from their point of view. I also need to do more reading about the effectiveness of cochlear implants at different ages. I need to learn at what age they are no longer effective and if doctors still implant on those patients. The questions that remain to be answered are: what are all aspects of the deaf community that affect their opposition to cochlear implants? Does the deaf community disown one of their own if they decide to get cochlear implants? What are the opinions of society if deaf parents have a deaf child and choose for the child to remain deaf? Does society consider American Sign Language a language? The questions that remain to be answered are: what are all aspects of the deaf community that affect their opposition to cochlear implants? Does the deaf community disown one of their own if they decide to get cochlear implants? What are the opinions of society if deaf parents have a deaf child and choose for the child to remain deaf? Does society consider American Sign Language a language?